Welcome to Doc Does Financial History, where money, power, and history collide, and nothing is ever as simple as it looks. You open your crypto app expecting a normal day. Prices are moving. Charts are flashing green and red. Everything looks fine. Then you notice something strange. Withdrawals are taking longer than usual. A message pops up, temporarily paused due to network congestion. You refresh. Then you check social media. Suddenly, panic is everywhere. People are posting screenshots. Funds stuck. Accounts frozen. Rumors spreading faster than facts. Within hours, the truth begins to surface. The platform isn't just experiencing technical issues. It's collapsing. And just like that, billions of dollars, real money belonging to real people, are locked inside a system that no longer works. This isn't a rare event. It's a pattern. Over the past decade, cryptocurrency has gone from a niche experiment to a global financial force. At its peak, the total crypto market was worth trillions of dollars. Millions of people jumped in, hoping to be part of the future of money. But alongside that growth, something else emerged. A darker reality. A series of scandals so massive, so complex, that they've shaken the entire industry. Cryptocurrency was built on a powerful promise. A financial system without middlemen. No banks controlling your money. No governments freezing your accounts. Just you, your digital wallet, and the blockchain. Transparent, secure, decentralized. At least that's the idea. In practice, most people don't actually interact with blockchain directly. They use exchanges. These platforms act as the gateway into crypto. You deposit your money by digital assets and store them on the platform. It feels simple, familiar, almost like online banking. But here's the critical difference. Most of these platforms are not regulated like banks. There are no guarantees, no protections, and when things go wrong, there's often no one to step in. One of the biggest scandals in crypto history exposed this perfectly. A major exchange, trusted by millions, collapsed almost overnight. For years, it had built a reputation as a safe, reliable platform. It had celebrity endorsements, sponsorship deals, a polished image of legitimacy. But behind the scenes, something very different was happening. Customer funds were being quietly moved, used for risky investments, transferred to affiliated companies, all without users knowing. When those bets failed, the entire structure began to crack. And once people started withdrawing their money, the truth became impossible to hide. There wasn't enough left. Think about that. People believed they were holding their own assets. But in reality, they were trusting a company to hold it for them. And that company broke that trust. This is where one of the biggest misconceptions about crypto comes in. Decentralization. It's often presented as the core strength of cryptocurrency. But in reality, much of the ecosystem is still highly centralized. A handful of exchanges control access for millions of users. And when those exchanges fail, the consequences are immediate and devastating. But not all crypto scandals happen at the top. Some start much smaller and spread just as quickly. A new token appears online. It has a sleek website, a detailed roadmap, promises of innovation. Influencers begin talking about it. Early investors post screenshots of huge gains. The community grows. The price rises. Everything looks like a success story. Until one day it isn't. The developers vanish. The liquidity disappears. The price crashes to zero. This is known as a rug pull, and it has become one of the most common scams in crypto. What makes rug pulls so dangerous is how convincing they can be. Some projects look completely legitimate. They mimic real companies. They create fake credibility. And by the time people realize what's happening, it's already too late. Then there are schemes that go even deeper. Investment platforms that promise steady, guaranteed returns. Daily profits. Minimal risk. They present themselves as advanced trading systems or automated strategies. But underneath, they operate on a simple principle. Use new investors' money to pay old investors. As long as new money keeps coming in, the system survives. But eventually it collapses. And when it does, the losses are enormous. This isn't new. It's the same structure used in traditional Ponzi schemes. But in crypto, it moves faster, scales bigger, and spreads across borders with ease. Speed is one of the defining features of cryptocurrency. Transactions can happen in seconds. Funds can move across the world instantly. No banks, no delays. But this speed also makes it incredibly difficult to control. In traditional finance, moving large sums of money involves layers of checks, regulations, monitoring, verification. In crypto, those layers often don't exist. And once a transaction is completed, it cannot be reversed. This creates a perfect environment for bad actors. They can operate anonymously, move funds quickly, and disappear without leaving a trace. Law enforcement agencies around the world are trying to keep up, but the global nature of crypto makes it challenging. Different countries have different laws, different levels of enforcement, and criminals take advantage of these gaps. But beyond scams and fraud, there's another side to crypto scandals that often goes unnoticed. Mismanagement. Some of the biggest collapses weren't caused by hackers or external attacks. They were caused by decisions made inside the companies themselves. Poor risk management, lack of transparency, conflicts of interest. In some cases, companies used customer deposits as collateral for loans. In others, they invested heavily in volatile assets. And when the market turned, they couldn't recover. What makes this especially troubling is how little users know about what's happening behind the scenes. Unlike traditional banks, many crypto platforms don't provide clear financial disclosures. There's limited oversight, limited accountability, and limited protection. So when something goes wrong, users are often the last to find out, and the first to suffer. The impact of these scandals goes far beyond individual losses. They affect the entire market. When a major platform collapses, confidence drops. Prices fall. Investors panic. Billions of dollars in value can disappear within days. And it doesn't just stay within crypto. Traditional financial institutions are increasingly connected to the space. Hedge funds, venture capital firms, even some banks, which means the effects can ripple outward. But perhaps the most important impact is human. Behind every number is a person, someone who trusted the system, someone who believed in the opportunity, someone who took a risk. There are countless stories of people losing their life savings, of individuals who invested everything, hoping for a better future, only to see it disappear overnight. And unlike traditional financial systems, there's often no safety net, no insurance, no guaranteed recovery. So why does this keep happening? Part of the answer lies in human behavior. Crypto markets are driven by emotion as much as logic. When prices rise, excitement builds. People rush in, afraid of missing out. This creates bubbles, and bubbles attract opportunists. People who know how to manipulate hype, exploit trust, and take advantage of inexperience. Another part of the answer is complexity. Cryptocurrency is still difficult for many people to fully understand. The technology can be confusing. The systems can be opaque, and that makes it easier for bad actors to operate. Finally, there's regulation, or rather the lack of it. Governments are still figuring out how to approach crypto. Some are introducing stricter rules. Others are taking a more hands-off approach. But for now, the landscape remains fragmented. And in that uncertainty, both innovation and risk continue to grow. The truth is, cryptocurrency is not going away. It continues to evolve, to expand, to attract new users. But so do the risks. The dark side of cryptocurrency scandals isn't just about fraud or failure. It's about the gap between what the system promises and what it actually delivers. A system designed to eliminate trust has, in many cases, shifted that trust elsewhere. From institutions, to individuals, to companies, to platforms. And when that trust is broken, the consequences are immediate and often irreversible. Because in the end, crypto doesn't remove risk. It changes where that risk lives. And for millions of people around the world, that realization has come at a very high cost. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me, do you think cryptocurrency can overcome these challenges, or are these scandals just the beginning? Until next time.